This is a very special Dwelling of Duels banner artist breakdown. I am your host, Evil Sonic. With me tonight is the artist behind this month's DS 3DS month banner art, Paigeizzle. We are going to talk about a number of things, art related, video game related, music related. Paigeizzle, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. That Star Fox Adventures cover has me feeling pretty good. That was really exciting, so.
That's one of my favorite things about these events is that it kind of helps, it breaks the formula a little bit on the pre-show listening music, because usually it's like, oh, this is going to be DS 3DS month, so the pre-show is I have to pick DS 3DS soundtracks from DoD, and when I get to talk to a person who, you know, may have a wildly vast range of tastes and interests and DoD preferences, it's kind of like a fun challenge. So when I asked you about some of your favorite some of your favorite DoD covers, we'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff we spoke about the other day, but you mentioned Star Fox Adventures, and I was like, oh, I know the perfect one for that. And you also mentioned Crystal Flash, and I was like, oh, we should start the listening party pre-show about 10 minutes early so we can do this. So thank you for giving me that excuse to play
Absolutely.
Some 2005 Vert. So, Paigeizzle, I have a few questions. I know you've kind of looked over some of this. I actually was going to have this one later, but I'm going to ask it up front. Your handle, Paigeizzle.
Yep.
What does that mean?
It's honestly a really goofy story. My when I was in high school, my really good friend, at the time, she has since moved to California. She's been in California for a while, but we used to she would come and like stay the night at my house, and we would stay up super late into the night drawing and just like, you know, just teenagery stuff. And she drew me a picture, and it was just Paigeizzle, and it was like she did a bunch of like checkers in it, which I love checkered pattern, and I hung it up on my mirror forever, and it stuck. So that's the origin of Paigeizzle.
But your name is Paige, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so teenagery things, drawing stuff. So you've been drawing for a while.
Really long time.
Were you born with a crayon in your hand?
Honestly, pretty much.
Do you have... I'm going to ad-lib a question here because I just remembered something embarrassing from my own childhood. But do you have any, like, early days embarrassing art? I remember I did, like, when I was 7, I made, like, a knockoff Calvin and Hobbes book, which I stapled together. I'm sure it was 7 pages or something.
That's incredible. That's how it starts, though. It's just stuff like that. I used to make up Pokemon, because when I was at that age, Pokemon was like the big thing. So I used to watch the anime on TV, and then I would just make up dumb little creatures. I can't remember any specifically, but I just have like the like a quick flash of a memory of. And Dragon Ball Z too. That was another big one.
I just saw in the chat. Is it Jack who got in trouble for drawing realistic boobs?
Yeah. That is Jack.
So that's fun. So you said that you invented Pokemon. I have questions. Like...
Yeah.
Okay, so... I guess the first question I have is, how many Pokemon did you invent?
Oh, God. I remember one specifically, but there had to be at least 3. But I literally don't even remember a thing about them.
Okay.
Just
I can probably skip my next 12 questions.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say, "Oh, I probably did at least 70," and I was like, "Okay, what generation is this? What kind of like what types are we talking about?" So the
For
Pokemon
sure.
you do remember inventing, is there any? Do you remember the name or attacks or anything like that, or is it not that deep?
I don't even think I got that deep. I think I just like would have an idea and would do a quick sketch and like draw the name or write the name above it, and that was pretty much it. It was so low key as far as that goes. But it definitely would have been first generation, I will say that. So
Yeah. This is a story I always like to trot out. Is that this isn't even my story, but I've heard it so many times that I like to kind of co-opt it. My good friend Brienne, aka Atomic, who has participated in these Dwelling of Duels, predicted the Pokemon craze.
really?
So she got like a Nintendo Power back in like 1996 or 7, and there was like a little 2-paragraph blurb like buried in there somewhere where it talked about this Japanese game called Pocket Monsters. And she read that and I was like, and she said, "Oh, that sounds really cool." And she showed our friends Dan and Josh. And like when it came out to the US, they were there to buy it on release day. Nobody else knew or cared, and they got Pokemon like on day 1. And then like 2 months later, it was just everywhere. So
Yeah.
congratulations to Atomic. I told your story again.
That's incredible. I can't even imagine to actually be there for, because I was so young, I wouldn't have actually been able to go to the release, but to be that early to where the craze, it's like so low key and you can just walk in and grab it versus nowadays it would be, insane now because it's still just so like part of, I mean, people's childhood or kids' childhoods.
There's nothing these days that's gonna get a 2-paragraph blurb in Nintendo Power that isn't also being picked apart and broadcast everywhere. I'm trying to even think about what the closest analogy would be. It would be like some kind of indie game, but I can't even imagine an indie game getting like a modicum of hype that wasn't based on some rabid fandom that already existed.
Right.
God, the 90s were amazing, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That actually leads me to one of my other questions that I have. I'm skipping around my notes here.
Yeah.
And this is based on our conversation the other day. What is better, Nintendo 64 or penicillin?
That's so hard.
Keep in mind, a lot of people are allergic to penicillin.
But the thing is, penicillin still saves lives.
So
it's
does
like
the Nintendo 64.
I know. I was thinking that. I'm like, well, the case could be made. I'm going to just go with my gut, and I'm going to Nintendo 64.
Okay. That is correct. We don't have a whole lot of definitively right or wrong answers, but that was one of them.
Okay, I'm glad I chose right.
And I know you mentioned a couple of your favorite Nintendo 64 games, some of your early N64 games. Do you want to do you remember what your first Nintendo 64 game was? I think you told me.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I remember that one.
Yep.
That was a good one.
That was the one.
There was a Banjo-Tooie, wasn't there?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I never played that. Was it any good?
Yeah, actually my Tad in the chat, I knew he was going to be summoned for that. he Banjo-Tooie is his favorite and Banjo-Kazooie is my favorite, but I didn't get as far as I did in Banjo-Kazooie in Banjo-Tooie, but it still had like the same kind of vibe. It was still really cool. It's been years since I've played it, so I don't remember much, but I remember there being like a pirate level that I really enjoyed, and there was a circus level that I remember really racking my brain about as a soft brain child, so. But it was fun.
It's so funny that there's this Kazooie versus Tooie debate, because in the Discord, like 2 hours ago, there was discussion about, I think it was Portal 2 was the thing that started off, was someone said the rare sequel that's better than its prequel. And I started thinking about that. I was like, wait a second. There are lots of games where the successor is better than the original. Like, are you going to tell me that Ocarina of Time is not as good as, like, original Legend of Zelda? And it brought us into a question about, like, direct sequels versus franchises. So the fact that we have... Was Banjo-Tooie a direct sequel? I don't think of Banjo-Kazooie as a franchise.
I think it was. I can't remember exactly how, like, the stories connected, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if... I don't think Gruntilda was the main villain, but it was something relating to her, because I think at the end of the first one, she just kind of... Oh, okay, yeah. Tad said it was a direct sequel, so yes, there's our answer.
We should have
Thanks,
Tad on the stream to fact check us.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He can do that in the chat. He's used to that in my streams, so I'll just be like, yo, Tad.
I know, so we had a couple of overlapping favorites. I know you mentioned the other day Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64. Those all remind me of being, 11 years old in my friend's basement playing video games. Do you have like a favorite party game from Nintendo 64? Like you get the 4 controllers all plugged in and you go to town on whether it's smashing or carting or foxing?
Definitely Mario Party. That was like,
yeah.
If I had people like around to play, it was Mario Party for sure.
And was it the first 3 were on 64?
I think so, but I never really played the third one. I only ever played the first 2, and honestly, the second one's my favorite.
Okay. There have been some pretty good Mario Party covers. Okay, so I first played Mario Party 4, because I think I landed at the age where by the time Mario Party had come out, I wasn't playing that kind of thing, and I can't exactly explain the psyche of my tween and teen self. But I don't even remember where I was going with this. Mario Party...
That happens to me all the time.
Okay. I have never played like Mario Party 1, but I've covered it like way more times than I would have ever expected in DoD. And I don't know why that is.
Oh man. You definitely... Do you have a Switch?
I do have a Switch, so we have Mario Party All-Stars, so I have played some Mario Party 1 levels, but I don't like them as much as the other game levels. I'm going to say that right now.
If you have Switch Online and you like you know how they have like the premium one where you pay, I can't remember how much a year it is, but then you have access to the N64 online. I'm like 99% sure the first Mario Party's on there, but don't quote me on that. If it is,
you heard it here first, folks. Paigeizzle says guaranteed Mario Party 1 is on Nintendo Switch Online. No, but I think you are right.
Take that to the grave. Okay, I mean, I would be surprised if it wasn't.
To be honest, I get mad at Nintendo 64 on the Switch Online because I feel like I have most of those games in other iterations somewhere. Like, I've got Star Fox 64 on the Wii Virtual Console. I've got Ocarina of Time, who knows how many different places. I've got Super Mario 64 in like 5 different iterations. The one thing that I didn't have elsewhere that I needed was GoldenEye. And playing the GoldenEye on the Switch is literally a war crime.
It is.
It's not.
It totally is. I tried with a group of friends one time. We were playing the Switch Online stuff, and the controls don't work with the Joy-Cons. I just couldn't quite grasp it, and it was frustrating as someone who has had a ton of experience playing the Nintendo 64. But we played GoldenEye, and we tried just to be funny. I was like, we should do snipers only, and it was bad. It was real bad.
You lost a lot of friends that night.
Yeah, I accidentally turned I quit the game because I thought I could just leave by myself and they could still play, and it ended up sending the whole game back to the start screen, and I felt pretty bad about that one.
Oh. I remember asking about this. So we talked a bunch about Nintendo 64. Did you have experience playing the DS or 3DS?
Oh yeah. Yes, I did.
Go
on. The 3DS more than the DS. I honestly, the 3DS was like I got the first version before they reduced the price. So I got the Nintendo Ambassador certificate, where you got 10 free NES games and then 10 free Game Boy Advance games. And that was actually how I even got into Metroid so hard, because Fusion was one of those games, and I played through Fusion and I was sold. And like Wario Land 4 was on there and all that good stuff, but playing the 3DS Ocarina of Time port, remake, whatever, that was my first time actually playing through Ocarina of Time. I never had Ocarina of Time as a kid. So just those kinds of experience, and like the Star Fox 64 port for that. And I loved Street Pass, because at the time I was in college, so I would take my 3DS with me, and the Street Passes I would get and the tokens I would get, it was so much fun. Like, I truly, truly, truly love the 3DS. Yeah. Even still.
Do you have a DS or 3DS game that you're really hoping to hear get covered this month?
So, because I like weird, I'm gonna say something from Tomodachi Life, because that would be amazing.
How many times has Tamagotchi been covered in DoD? I say that knowing that I have done a Tamagotchi Party On. Who covered Tamagotchi? Oh, Tuck. Big Oran Tuck did an alt called Winter of Life in November 2022. Tamagotchi Party On, which I think was for Wii or Wii U. We did a World Wasn't Meant silly skit, and Brienne did the instrumental. So, if there's some... So what was Tamagotchi Life?
Tomodachi Life.
Tomodachi. Oh.
Yeah.
Here I am talking about some goddamn other thing.
That's okay. That's okay.
Naup's there yelling at me. Thank you, Naup. This is why you're on Ops now.
I was just gonna let you have your moment. Like, it would have gotten corrected. It's fine. It's fine.
You're so Midwestern polite.
See, I told you. We are super polite.
That is a perfect segue into one of my other questions. Paige, where are you from?
Bay City, Michigan. Well, technically, I'm from Freeland, Michigan, but I live in Bay City, Michigan.
So that is Detroit, right?
No.
But it's like kind of Detroit, right?
I will take that we are honorary Detroit, even though we're like an hour and a half north of it. Yes, we're honorary Detroit.
What am I an hour and a half north of? Like some shitty town in Connecticut. I probably spent an inordinate amount of time talking about my newly discovered love of Tim Robinson the other day when you said that you were from Michigan.
Oh yeah, the best.
So, okay, for this kind of first section, we've got our party or our breakdown broken into two parts. We're going to have an intermission at some point with some more music from games that you love. I wanted to. Most of the questions I've had right now have been focusing a little bit more on your origin story, your art stuff, your game stuff. We talked a little bit about Nintendo 64 specifically. Branching out, I know you've told me that you have a nice mix of modern games and retro games that you like. What are some of your favorite games of the today, of the yesterday? Tell us about what Paige likes to play when you play.
So this is I'm playing Baldur's Gate right now, and Baldur's Gate is a lot of fun as someone who plays D&D, for real. It really scratches the itch of when you can't get a group together and you just want to play D&D, you have something that's at least adjacent to it. So Baldur's Gate's been super, super fun. I'm trying to think of honestly, a lot of the current stuff that I play, and this is probably sacrilegious to some people, but my main rotation is Fortnite, Fall Guys, Rocket League. Like, just as like time wasty kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of what other like modern games. Oh, I haven't played it yet, but the Clair Obscura thing that came at Expedition 33, everyone is talking about that, and I've had so many people tell me that because I'm a JRPG fan that I need to play it because it's very, very Final Fantasy. And on that note, I still got to play Final Fantasy 16. But the
16?
remake, like,
God, when's the actual final one?
Yeah, I don't know. The final one was supposed to be the first one, but things happened.
Things happened. So one of the other things that we talked a little bit about were your artistic inspirations, and I think we ended up talking a little bit more about animation, some films. Before going into some of those, are there video games that like the art, the cinema of certain games, like, that really speaks to you, hits hard, that's your fave?
One that really comes to mind, especially when I was going through the questions and I was racking my brain, Okami. I love like, it's based in Japanese, so like Japanese, Chinese, like the ink wash style, and just like those really beautiful like ink drawings. I love that stuff, and Okami is just like the perfect blend of like Japanese music and the visuals, and that specifically has really sticks with me. And then I have like obvious ones because we played Crystal Flash for the pre-show. Metroid's a big one for me because of the atmosphere, and I love just Samus as like this solo tanky badass woman. Like Ellen Ripley, like that kind of stuff always just really hits hard with me.
I want to let you know that I have updated the intermission playlist as we've been talking because of something you said earlier.
Amazing.
I'll let you know what it was when we come back from the break afterwards.
Cool.
So you mentioned Ellen Ripley, who is, the classic... Would archetype be the right word?
Yeah, I would say so.
Inspiring, video games, TV, comics, movie, everything. We had, when we were talking earlier, you had a whole list of films and TV shows that were big, that loomed large for you. I know, so this is weird. I don't have like a background in interviewing, so I'm kind of winging this and just like, we talked about these things and I know I want to lead us there, but I'm not the one to tell the story. So let me tee this part off. We talked a bit about Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
What are your favorite Ghibli films? Give me your top 3, because you mentioned 2 and I want to hear a surprise.
Okay. So, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind,
Excellent.
Princess Mononoke,
Very excellent.
and Spirited Away. Spirited Away was my first one, and when I want a comfort movie, that one, it's that one, for sure.
That's interesting to have as a comfort movie. I have to watch that again. It seems dark, but I'm not gonna disagree with comfort.
It's all about like coming of age, growing up, and it's very, I mean, it's very, very, very Japanese, obviously. But I love like how the transformation of Chihiro going into the spirit world, and she's a naive 10-year-old who's, you know, throwing a fit about having to move and leave her friends behind, which is understandable. You know, that's a pretty traumatic thing when you're that young and you're experiencing something that big, and it brings all those big feelings that come with it. And then she goes through this crazy, like, whole different world and kind of has the experience of moving without actually moving. It's a different kind of moving. And how much she grows up, and then at the end when she's, you know, the dad's like, new school, new place, that's kind of a lot, and she's just like, I think I can handle it. And I'm like, yes, you can. You absolutely can. It's great.
So some of the things you said, and I'm connecting dots in my brain right now, reminded me of 2 other incredible animated films. The first is My Neighbor Totoro, which is another Ghibli film that deals with like that childhood trauma of change.
Yep.
And the other is Inside Out, because that's got a Michigander who moves.
Yes. I think she's from Minnesota, but regardless, she's a Midwesterner. Yeah.
Would you hate me if I said same thing?
No. Because it is. I just went to Minnesota in April. It's the same thing.
It's so funny because if you called Massachusetts, Rhode Island, or New Hampshire, or Connecticut, or any of the surrounding states, I would throw down. And I'm not even from here. I'm like from New Jersey, but I've lived in Massachusetts the past 21 years. So, yeah. But
yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle. Jack just mentioned I don't know if I have a Ghibli like comfort one, but the Ghibli film that I've seen the most is probably Howl's Moving Castle. That's a good one. I love that art. It's such good art.
And that's an interesting one too, because I think it's based off of like a European story. So it's cool to see a Japanese take on a European. I don't know if it's a folk tale or exactly what it is, but I just really like that. Oh, it's a book. Okay. I just really like that, you know, you get that different, what am I thinking of here? I can't think of the word, but it's different. You don't typically see something like that. So I just really enjoy seeing one culture not taking from another culture, but doing their interpretation of something else. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Oh man, that reminds me of, I forget the name of the studio, but it's an Irish animation studio that they did Secret of the Kells, Song of the Sea.
Ooh.
And I'm blanking on the name of the last one that took place in the Emerald Isle. But they also did The Breadwinner, which took place in a Mideast country. I need to read up about it. I need to see that one, because that's something that like, you tell me an Irish animation studio is doing The Secret of the Kells and like Irish folklore stuff, I am there. Like, that is
100%.
That is my that that's just speaking my language. And then in the middle of that, they had one that was a completely different setting. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's interesting, but I never actually got around to seeing that. And that's the thing I need to fix. Grave of the Fireflies has come up in the chat a bunch.
Grave of the Fireflies is soul-crushing.
Stone cold bummer.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. It is I shouldn't say cool, but seeing an animator make a movie about the experience of going through World War II era Japan and like the fire raids and stuff, that it's eye-opening. Yeah. But it's very sad. So if you want, don't watch it if you don't want to, if you're not prepared. That's all I'll say.
I know it's not the first animated film that was like fucking heavy, but it's definitely a landmark.
100%. Even this is not animated, but that was the one thing I really liked about the newest Godzilla that came out, -1, because it took place in I think it was post World War II era Japan, but it was like around there, and just to, because Godzilla came from he was essentially propaganda against nuclear arms, so it was just really cool to see that. I really enjoy stuff like that, getting like a window into the time.
I just had a realization that I'm kind of ashamed about, which is like, I consider myself something of a film buff, and I love Kurosawa, but I never actually thought about the fact that he was most prolific in the late 40s through the 50s and 60s, and like that's on the heels of World War. Like, I never actually thought like Rashomon came out 3 years after World War II ended, and that I just feel like an idiot as a self-proclaimed film buff that I'm not like putting together that context. Because you know what you were just saying reminded me of The Bicycle Thieves, which is post World War II Italy, and it's right like it's all about the living, that scrounging, that hustle to existing in that environment. And that is just so ingrained in the movie, so you can't avoid it. And I was thinking, oh yeah, Bicycle Thieves, 1948. Wait a second, that's when the fuck Rashomon came out. And Italy didn't have a bomb dropped on it like that. So, like, this is where I'm like, oh my god. I'm just starting to, like, fuck. I need to read a book about Kurosawa, like, right now.
And
we're
honestly,
gonna put the stream on pause. I'll come back. I gotta find a book. I'm kidding.
Oh,
but
okay. I was like, oh dang, we're really going for it.
If I had a book over there that I knew was like about Kurosawa post-war Japan, first of all, I probably would have connected the dots sooner. But I'm not gonna like go to the library. It's 8:30 on a Friday night. I don't think the library is open right now.
That's true. I mean, it should be, because like 8:30 p.m. on a Friday, going to the library would rip, but I get it. Man. So
what are some of your what are some of the other animated tying it back to art and inspiration, some of your other favorite like animated films or anime television? I know we talked about a number of them. I haven't seen a lot of them, so I would not do them justice, but if there are any that are top of mind for you that you want to give some time for.
Sure. Well, you mentioned Inside Out, and Inside Out is great. I love that movie so much. But on top of that too, other Pixar, like recent Pixar movies, Luca, which you reminded me of that because of talking of Italy. I don't think it's, post World War II, anything like that. I don't quite know the time range, but it's definitely like an earlier point in history, and that's another like good coming of age movie, and it's great. It's about sea monsters that when they leave the ocean they can turn into humans, and so it's like them experiencing what it's like to live on the surface, and it's just really, it's great. And Turning Red is another one that came out within the last few years that I absolutely adore. It's amazing. And it's, again, another coming of age one. If you haven't noticed, I really like coming of age stories.
Coming of age stories are pretty great. Yes.
Yes. And I see some agreement in the chat. It's super, super good. It's such a relatable thing, even in your adult years. Like everyone's gonna go through it, and it's just to have that reminder. It's just always so sentimental.
Turning Red, I started to watch, but I was not in the right mindset for it, and I was like, I know I'm not going to give this justice right now, so I'm going to pause this and come back to it. I need to go back to it because enough amazing people love it that I owe it nothing less than to watch it with rapt attention. I have not seen Luca yet. I forgot about Luca, but you just reminded me, so this is going to be a Pixar weekend over here.
Yeah, love to hear it. I love it. It's, yes, they're great. They're so good.
I'm gonna, I just have to say this. Pixar connection. My wife and I, our first date, we saw Toy Story 3.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my God.
It was actually, I forgot about this. It was a call between that at like the bigger cinema or going to the indie cinema to see the 1960, who was it? Truffaut's Breathless. Was it Truffaut or Godard? But it was Breathless, and that's like a very, very different vibe for a first date. So.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, it sounds like the vibes would be different.
Yeah. I mean, it was clearly the right call because we're married now, and I'm not just like some weirdo that took her to like a weird French movie. Okay, so do you have I kind of have my next like thought of question, but are there any other like animation, like movies, TV show, anything that you want to talk about related to that?
Yeah, I know the one we talked about that was at the beginning of the week. It doesn't matter. The one that we talked about, or that I was praising, was Scavenger's Reign. That is so good as an adult animated sci-fi show that just kind of came out. I mean, it was a YouTube short, and then I think they pitched it to different studios, and then Max ended up picking it up. But Max is as a streaming service, they do a lot of disservice to animation. They'll just get rid of things and add stuff like all willy-nilly. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's really sad. But Scavenger's Reign is incredible if you're into like sci-fi stuff, and I love sci-fi stuff. It's another thing of just it has a good atmosphere, and it's really creative, the creatures they come up with and the different things that happen in the like biome of where they're at and what each survivor goes through. It's just so cool. It's fun to see people, who put so much thought into world building, because I'm not good at world building. I wish I was, but it's just a little too big of a scope of thinking for me. So when I watch stuff where people make these crazy environments with all of these different creatures and how they all live together, and it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and I guess that's something like I say this as sort of an apology because I'm not an artist. I'm probably one of the dumber people to have here talking about art, but what are some of the visual features that like just get you there? Like, what are some of the things like when you see it on the page or on the screen of these different art styles and sort of images that like that's the stuff that you're like, oh shit, that's me. Like I need it.
Line work is a big one. I love line work, but I also really love things that have a lot of movement to them and they're very dynamic. One thing I'm thinking of right now is like, yo, what's up, Bobby? Sorry. Jet Set Radio. I love that artwork, and I mean it's not necessarily like line work driven, but like the colors, they pop, and just I think of like the crazy perspective with how they rollerblade around and spray paint stuff. It's just I love like that sort of like urban style as well, which I feel like that goes hand in hand with some dynamic movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is a good point to ramp up that like to do a little bit of show and tell because we have your artist slideshow.
Yeah.
Let me put that up on the screen. So, because I'm always like halfway convinced I'm going to screw up Discord, I'm taking this 1 second at a time. So let's turn on the inspiration. Okay, now let me press play. Oh, it helps if I'm not dumb about it. There we go. So do you see on the screen? This looks like line work to a T.
Oh yeah, Frazetta is the line work master. I love doing studies from his work. I have a couple on my Instagram, and it's so fun, like specifically too when you look at like on the lions where there's the jet black, like that's where no light is coming to, and just the way he brings it out and makes it like you can see his strokes and how he makes like that transition from the darkest dark to the lightest light. Like that is so fun to recreate, and I learn so much whenever I do a study of his stuff. Like all of his ink drawings like this they're just amazing to look at. It's incredible.
And as an art dummy, like I'm struck by the intense level of detail when we are looking at like this is monochromatic. Like
yeah,
it is white and black and just like the sort of the gradients.
Yeah.
Like oh god, like okay, so that front lion's front right leg. That's blowing my mind right now. Just looking at that detail, like just oh.
I know.
This is oh god, art's so fucking important, and like I can't stress this enough. I'm a dummy and this is speaking to me, and like art's important, everybody. God damn it.
Art
Support
is
your
important.
local arts.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And create. If you ever have the urge, do it. Don't let anything stop you. Create. That's how we're gonna make it through anything, is to create.
Support. Oh man, it's okay. I'm getting like, oh, this is good. You want me to let's take a look at the next one?
Sure, go for it.
All right. Oh, it's so weird because I can tell it. Okay, my OBS updates. There it is on on the Twitch. There's a lot more color in this one.
Yep.
That's beautiful. That's stunning.
This guy, I think it's...
Oh, we should put names in the chat. Who was the last artist?
Frank Frazetta. I can even type it too.
Okay, because you know how to spell it, and I do not.
And this guy is Hiro Osono, and he is the guy who did the Secret of Mana artwork.
Oh. Got the VG connection.
Yep. And his even the Secret of Mana artwork, like just this crazy, like, fantastical landscape, and it's so soft, and I look at it and it's exciting, but it's peaceful, and it just I want to live there. Anytime I look at any of his art, I'm just like, how do I just transport into that painting? Like, I just want to be there.
Yeah. What's that red, like, sort of
birds?
S. That's birds?
Yeah, so on the bottom they're like, I think they're birds. The image isn't very good quality, but they're like flying up into the tree. I honestly think it looks like they're circling around the tree, and they must be landing on top of the tree.
That's so cool. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Okay, I see what it is. You're going to see it in a second. I'm excited about this one. Who is this metal person?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
That's Tony Stark. That's Tony Stark, right?
Yes, it's Iron Man.
It must be the Iron Man. The paragon of being iron and being a man.
Exactly, yes. Whose name is Metroid. So.
Yes.
Yeah, Metroid. I love Metroid. That's amazing. That's incredible. Oh my god. John Metroid. Yes. Oh man.
Gotta go to the doctor.
Man, you guys
for
are
my
on
Metroids.
it. Yes.
There's a cream for that.
I can't even I think of like a Metroid stuck to your butt, and I'm just like, oh god, no. No.
There is
so
a
good
DoD
on that.
gold winning track that is basically about that. It's called Da Baby, the musical.
No way.
Oh, you gotta hear it. Oh god, that'll be our closeout music. I don't have it in the pre-show, but I'll put it I don't have it in the intermission, but I'll get that for the closeout. And
perfect.
The anonymous DoD contestant, whoever you are that did that, you will appreciate that is being shared, because I know
Bless you. Bless you, mystery person.
So talk about Samus. Just dish. Samus.
Samus is my wife. My friends in the chat know this. She is my wife, and then I'll get to... There's another thing that will relate to that later, but I love the Super Metroid artwork. This is a picture. I have the Metroid art book that came with the special edition of Metroid Dread, because yes. And it has... it doesn't have a ton of concept art for the earlier games like it does for Dread. Like, most of the books is Dread art, but these, I love the Super Metroid concept art, and it's not, I would even say it goes beyond concept art because it's very finished. But the drawings of her in her Varia suit are just incredible, and I love like zooming in on them, you know, or like holding the book closer up to my face when I have it out, and just like looking at, how did they make these details, like what tool, like trying to guess what tools they used, and because it's convincing that it looks like she was done on a digital art program, but I'm not quite sure exactly like what was available at the time that Super Metroid was made for something like that. So I look at the shadowing on, especially like the yellow, like on her chest and, you know, her waist, and it looks very airbrushed, and that's where I'm like, well, did someone actually airbrush it? Did they use acrylic paint? Like, I love trying to put the pieces together and thinking of like, oh, okay, how could I apply that, or how could I try that with something I'm going to work on next.
That's so cool.
Samus is a bodybuilding queen. She has goals.
Our next image coming up. This is some vivid colors. I can see the line work in here too.
This is Mobius. He's a French artist. Mobius is obviously his artist name. I can't remember what it's like Jean Girard or something like that. If someone in the chat knows, feel free to throw that out there. But he's another one where, honestly, like, his art style reminds me, or I should say Scavenger's Reign's art style reminds me a lot of Mobius's art style, because it's very, like, there's not a whole lot of shading, but it's a lot of like simple line work. Like, it's thin lines, and even though it's simple line work, like, there's so much going on, and the colors just really bring it to life. And he does these like really awesome, like, fantastical scenes, and just these really cool, like, sci-fi. I actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm a huge Dune fan, and when Jodorowsky was trying to make a Dune movie, Mobius did some of the concept art for that, and it's just like it's perfect. Like, if we could have had Jodorowsky's Dune, the world would have been a way better place, in my opinion.
We could definitely use a do-over.
We could. We really, really could. Just hit the reset button, start there, make Jodorowsky's Dune, and then we'll just go forward from there.
We're also going to get Don Mattingly a World Series ring, but that's a whole other thing.
Yes, we did talk about no more just vicariously living through video games with that. He's going to get his World Series ring in the flesh.
I mean, I wish, but right now he's the hitting coach for the Toronto Blue Jays, so it's probably not going to happen.
We can only hope.
For everyone who's wondering, I was telling Paige the other day how I play MLB The Show 23 with the difficulty way down, so that when Don Mattingly comes to bat, he hits home runs, and I accidentally broke it. He hit 256 in a season, so it reset, and now he's got to hit a whole lot more so that he can still get the record. But none of that's important because we have new art on the screen. There's some really stunning line work in here. Like, okay, so I say line work like I know what I'm talking about. If I used my brain and exercised what I actually understand, I would say it's the contrast.
Yeah, this is obviously like very, very bare bones concept artwork, and this is, when I was in high school, this was like the stuff I wanted to do, and I still would if given the chance, but this is from the Okami art book, and I love looking at how things begin, because seeing finished products is amazing, like, do not get me wrong, but it can be very overwhelming as an artist who, when you constantly see what you perceive as perfection and just like, this is the greatest thing ever, it can be very overwhelming, and you can get down on yourself. And so it's great to go to these things and see like, oh, okay, not everything has to be perfect. Like, these sketches aren't necessarily perfect, but they get the idea across, and that's like such a huge thing. Like, you don't have to have perfection, just as long as you hit the nail on the head and people are reading what you're trying to like put out there. That's like such a huge thing.
Yeah.
And so I love this, and like, this gives me inspiration of, you know, like, oh, okay, when I sketch, I can, like, I'll think of, you know, like, for example, like the bottom rock blaster Amaterasu, and I'm just like, okay, like I'll think of, oh, this person sketched something this way, so why don't I try and do like these quick, like single line strokes to just kind of get the shape, and then go in and add in some extra detail to, get the point across a bit more.
Yeah. And, I think that's something that, as a musician, I feel a lot, and I think a lot of people in the DoD community understand, is just that idea, like, when you see that final track, like the final version of the track that gets submitted to DoD, you're not seeing, like, the raw stems before the mixing, before all the corrections, before all the edits. And I think that's really important for us as artists to share and to see, because it is one of those things where I don't want to say this is a universal truth, but I think if you are an artist, you will at times hate yourself and what you do and think you're terrible, and you're not.
100%.
And it's it's not just refreshing, but it's also educational to see the way the pros do it from step one to the final step, because it is something where it's just like, it starts out as half of an idea, like it's just a germ of a thought, and it gets developed and it gets worked on, and sometimes there's a collaborative process, or sometimes it's I had this idea and then I saw another thing, and that kind of, like, it was so different, but it sparked an idea, and now it turned into this other thing. It's the creative process never fails to amaze me. So I really love this image here, just that we're seeing the different stages of it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I put it in there, because I love process work, and it's exactly what you said, just to see how it starts to where it ends, like to really kind of have a window into the process. It's so inspiring. And on the musician side, when you listen, you learn, and same thing as in the artist side, it's just when you see, you learn. I feel like anytime I watch someone sketch, work, like anything like that, I'm always like, I'll always take something from it, and I feel like if I go to sketch after I watch someone else sketch, I feel like I sketch a little bit better, because I'm watching someone do it, and it's like, okay, they tried this, so let me give that a shot and see what happens.
Yeah. All right, I think we got one last image in our inspiration slideshow. Ooh. Who is this? Do you see it yet? There it is.
Yes, I have a heckin' story. So,
best kind of story.
This is a highlight of my life kind of story. In college, I studied abroad in Japan for a year, and nice. I was in the Kansai area, so I was in Hirakata, so I was between Osaka, Kyoto, and Nara, and this is an actual picture that I took at a Yoshitaka Amano art exhibit, where they had all of his concept sketches of Final Fantasy. Like, they had a whole, like, couple rooms just dedicated to this, of course. And this specific image of Terra on the Magitech armor always stuck with me. Like, especially, I've seen it in books. Because I have, like, the Final Fantasy art books, but seeing this one in person and just how big it was, it just really, like, captivated me. And even I went a second time because I told some friends about it, and they were like, I have to go to this. And I was like, yes, like, I will go again, because I don't need a reason not to go again. I will just go again. And even the second time seeing it, I'm still just like, God, this is incredible. Like, it's so, and like, really what got me was the way the armor looked. Like, seeing it in person and getting all of the detail with the shading, and just how just how incredible it was rendered. I loved it. It was easily one of like the highlights of the exhibit for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's another, I'm struck by the contrast again. Just like the dark. So this is one of those things where my art dummy brain, I look at this and I see two colors.
Yeah. No, that's valid. Because it's mostly the blacks and the grays of the Magitech armor, and then Terra with her pinks and reds. And there's some gold and purple in there, but the red and black combo and the red and black contrast is always just a win in my book, and this is just a perfect example of that.
You know, I don't know if I had some other things that I wanted to touch on, but that might be the perfect segue to go into our intermission, because another great image that combines the red and the black is that DoD logo, our DoD guy. Paige, would you like to take a brief intermission while we hear some songs, and maybe some of us will freshen up our drinks? We'll come back and talk a little bit more about the work you're doing now professionally, the work you've done with DoD, and just the art that you're making. Where are you? If part one was the origin story, part two is the where are you now? How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
All right. So what I always love to ask our guests, if you would like to call us out with Keep It Right Here at Dwelling of Duels, Duels, Duels. Would you like to talk us into that?
Yeah. Keep it right here at Dwelling of Duels, Duels, Duels.
Duels.
I was flying through space like a boss, trying to find out where I got lost. When I stopped and opened the gate, the clock was telling me that the time is late. Not much there to see, but reflections of my own beauty. When the parasites came out to play on the planet SR-388, I cannot believe my eyes. All these parasitic guys with their viral enterprise. Oh no! Here the virus comes. It's killing my buns. There's no chance to escape from the parasitic party on SR-388. I'm not having fun. The party's just begun. It's parasitic break from the parasitic party on SR-388. Now the party has gone too far, and all the infection's starting to scar. But when the damage is all done, we will still have a place at the bar. I can't take it anymore. The infection's making me so sore. I should have known it would be lame on planet SR-388. I cannot believe my eyes. All these parasitic guys with their viral enterprise. Oh no! Here the virus comes. It's tickling my buns.
No, no, don't touch it! Don't touch it!
Hear the virus come, it's tickling my bum, there's no chance to escape from the parasitic party on Zone 388. I'm not having fun, the party's just begun, it's parasitic break from the parasitic party on Zone 388.
In the cosmos, outer space feels cold with a heart full of cold, with a heart full of cold. On the gray falls, there's a present snow. Don't the nights pass slow? Don't the nights pass slow? The sounds of memories weighing a hold on my mind. Oh, it's just another mad, mad night on down the road. I am just living to be right back by your side, but I'm just another moonlight mile on down the road. Made a rag pile of my uniform, gonna warm my bones, gonna warm
All right. You just heard Corey Johnson's Main Menu Theme PAL version from December of 2021. It's from Star Fox 64. And Sarah Schwarzow's Parasitic Party on SR 388, the March 2012 Jingle Month. Sarah did a single DoD track. That's the only one. If there is a quintessential, unappreciated in her time DoD entrant, it is that track, because that came in 6th place out of 6, which boggles my mind. That would not happen these days. I think that was still, DoD was probably still in that, oh, it's not a guitar, what the fuck. But, hey, we're different now. I'm your host, Evil Sonic. With me tonight is Paigeizzle. We are doing a banner artist breakdown. Paigeizzle, who has done the DS 3DS banner art contest for DoD this month. Paige, have you heard those two songs before?
No, that was brand new.
I know you mentioned Star Fox was a safe bet. You said that you like Star Fox and you liked long songs, and I was like, well, I got news for you.
You have that.
We got that one. You mentioned Metro. I had a different song. I don't want to say what it was. It's a fine song, but just the Metroid Samus heavy discussion that we've had, I was like, this one was kind of on my mind. It's a little bit shorter, which might make for a better intermission track. So we got that Parasitic Party on SR 388. This is one of those things I love about DoD, is that there is a website on the internet that has music that people have been making for over 20 years. And while everyone in this community lives and dies in that 3 to 5 day span at the end of the month where we all release the tracks and vote and have the comments and then we move on to the next one, there is still a website full of music just waiting to be discovered. And somebody made a track back in March of 2012 that has just been waiting for you to hear. And I love that shit. That just, oh god, I love it, Paige. It's my favorite.
From being on the website and just seeing the amount of things to click through, it is a dream. It literally is a dream.
I talk about, so I'm going to do a little bit about me, selfishly, but I'm going to segue it into a question for you. But
okay.
I did DoD back when I was in college. I had a bunch of entries between like 2005 and 8-ish. And then I moved to an apartment that it wasn't really conducive to recording and this and life stuff. And I didn't do music for about 10 years or so. And for some reason, in March of 2020, I found myself working from home and with the realization like, hey, I can listen to music while I'm working. Hey, there's a ton of DoD that has been happening over the past 10 years or so that I am not hip to. Hey, I should listen to this while I'm doing my day job. And that is the thing that got me back into music. Like, I picked up my guitar because I was getting caught up on DoD in the early months of COVID. I started thinking about entering DoD in May of 2020. It was golf versus fishing. I was gonna do the Wii Golf music. I didn't remember how to play guitar or record. Didn't happen. Next month was robots. I had an idea for Portal 2. Didn't happen. Shining month. I don't know what the fuck that is. Free month. I had some ideas. I still haven't done some of those. Some on my to-do list. but this, and it wasn't until November that I finally was like, okay, I have my ancient Dell laptop and my Pod XT stomp box, or whatever the hell, that I recorded the shittiest song into. I got second to last place, but I made music for the first time in 10 years. And I always refer to that as my COVID silver lining. The like, I am at home, I have this extra time, I have to do something. It brought me back into music. It got me recording again, which is incredible. It got me into DoD again. Now I'm running the fucking thing, which, I mean, Katajan, thank you for that, but what were you thinking? I introduced Andromeda to DoD, and we've recorded stuff. She's upstairs recording right now. There's just so much good that it feels so fucking weird to say it, but there's so much good that came out of the fact that I just had to hole myself up in the basement for a little bit. And honestly, I've actually stayed in the basement. I work from home now. It's professionally for me incredible, but it's that COVID silver lining. Paige, you are a creative type. Did you have a COVID silver lining? Did you have something that you picked back up or were able to commit time to because the world was a fucking weird nightmare 5 years ago?
I had the opposite. I went through some life stuff at the time. This was a
bad question.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because, like, it's nice to hear that the stories, like what you said, how it got you to actually get back into making music, back into recording. Like, those stories are rare, but I like hearing about those things, especially during COVID, because, like you said, it was such a fucked up time. Like, so to hear the good that came out of it, because there was some good that came out of it, you're the shining example of that. But even though I went through what I went through, I still came out of it still leaning into art, still leaning into bass, still leaning into games, still leaning into the things that, you know, make me who I am as a person. So it was shitty for a while, but I through, and like that alone is a testament to itself, and I'm proud of that. So
that's excellent.
And here I am. Yeah.
Paige, goddamn, thank you, because if I had like a life lesson from that, it was to do my research before I invoke, like, hey, remember that super traumatizing event that fucked us all up? How about I just spring that on you right now? And
no, that's okay.
You handle that so well. So, to kind of flip that a little bit, has there been anything in the past? If you ask 10 people on the street when COVID ended, you're going to get 20 different answers, and some of them will probably be it hasn't. But
yeah.
As we have kind of gotten back into the normal swing of things, has there been anything that like you've adopted, like something that you have re-entered with great relish, or things that you appreciate in a different way? Like, do you go to movies again in a way that you're just excited to be in the theater that you missed, or what is your is there anything like that? I'm kind of winging this, and if you don't have a good answer, that's probably because it's a terrible question.
No, I have an answer. You said movies. That's a super good start for me, because I'm one of those people that hasn't seen damn near anything. Like, there's a lot. If you ask me if I've seen a movie, chances are I'm gonna say no. So I like going to the theater, and I love going to the theater late at night. Like, I love a 9-10 o'clock movie, and just I go by myself too, just because I like to just chill, watch something, forget about the world for like 2 hours, and eat popcorn. And the other big one, when COVID hit, I had just like moved into my first apartment by myself, and was experiencing
Oof.
like I can go do stuff. Like I can just go do something and I don't have to worry about like my parents getting concerned about where I am, because I was at the age where I could go do stuff, but it was hard living with them because I know they have reservations about like me doing things by myself. And what I'm getting to is going to concerts. I was just getting into the swing of I'm just going to buy a ticket and go, because a lot of the stuff that I listen to, it's hard to find people to want to go. So it's just like, well, I'm not going to wait for people. I'm just going to go. And I remember the first month concerts came back. It was like that fall of like 2021, I want to say. I had at least 2 concerts like every single week in September.
Nice.
And it was draining, but it was so fun. So concerts for sure, like live music that was something I really missed, and to have it back is absolutely amazing. And I'm sure you can relate to that too as a musician. I'm sure seeing live music for you is also a very exciting experience.
It is, but I'm like a weird musician because so much of the music that I like, okay, so first of all, we live in the middle of nowhere. It's not exactly the middle of nowhere, like there are some things, but like I will go for long stretches without seeing live music, and it's one of those things that I don't necessarily think about it, but then when I go to a show, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I not doing this all the time? And then like 2 days later, my brain just shuts off and I'm like, why would I leave the house? It's so comfy here. But I know exactly what you mean, and I can think of a few different things that I can point to with like my coming out of COVID and music stuff. One of them is that I'm very involved with a local community music center, and they have a few events throughout the year that are very exciting that like we had to put on pause during 2020 and part of 2021. And when we got back into it, it was really rejuvenating, because so much of what that organization does is music education and kids playing music. And that's one of those things that just feeds my soul, is seeing like a few dozen snot-nosed little 7-year-olds barely making their way through Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I don't know what it is that just excites me about that, and then there are some of them that are actually good. But that was one of them. I forget. I think it was like it was 2 years ago. For our anniversary, we went to see Clonard, the Irish band. They were doing like a farewell tour, and they came through. Like, there's not a ton of stuff that comes out to Western Massachusetts. Like, usually they'll swing through Boston, but they came by us, and that was one of those things that's like, oh, fuck, live music, this is incredible. And then just last month, I saw, this is a miracle of modern science. I have been into the VGM scene for about 20 years. I had not seen Bit Brigade perform live until last month. I've been to several MagFests. Like, I don't know how I missed them, but I somehow didn't see Bit Brigade until last month. And it's like we are far enough removed from COVID era, but like it was the first. This past MagFest, I didn't mask up, but it was one of the first times where I didn't mask up and I wasn't really thinking about it. Yes. Until after the fact, and I was like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about how close I was to other people and that I wasn't wearing a mask. And so yeah, it is one of those things about live music. I'm going to turn the attention back to you in a second, but the other live music thing I can think about is very unrelated. This was a pre-COVID experience, but my dad is super into opera. It's one of those things that we're like, okay, Dad, I understand you. And at some point, I was just like, I should give this a go. I should give it a try. Enough people seem to like it, and so the first thing I experienced was that it was actually at the music center. There was a faculty and staff showcase, and one of the staff performed from La Boheme, and like it was powerful. Like I was moved to tears. I was like, oh fuck this, I get it now. This is opera.
Yes.
And I saw that the theater near us, the cinema like near us was doing one of those live opera events of La Boheme, and it was like within a week or two. So I was like, I should go to see that because obviously I love opera now.
Yes.
And I go there. I paid extra because it's one of those special ass events. I sit down, the screen shows up, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's just the fact that it wasn't live. That experience was the first time that I, like, because I'm used to listening to recorded music. I'm a DoD fanatic, start to finish. I get the power of sitting at your computer and listening to it over headphones and getting moved. But there was something about that juxtaposition of I am in a local community music center listening to a talented but still amateur singer performing opera, and it is moving me to tears. And then a few days later, I'm at the cinema and I'm watching like world-class performers on a screen and through speakers, and it's doing nothing for me. I left after 30 minutes. I was like, I'm not here for it. So that's
super. And especially like you paid extra.
I did pay extra.
And yeah.
It was a learning experience.
I heard a story. There's a Let's Play channel I watch, and one of the guys on it was talking about there was a Final Fantasy VII orchestral tour that was going through California, and he same thing, like paid, got tickets, paid extra, whole 9 yards, and it ended up being an orchestra played, I think it was the opening bombing mission, and then the rest of it was just recordings. It wasn't even like the actual orchestra playing anymore. And he said that he went to get his money back from the box office, and they were like, yeah, we can't do that. And I think they just ended up walking out too. Like, it's just like, in what world would that even make sense to do?
Yeah. Music is this weird, magical, funny thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's so... I could talk for hours about it. But we're not here to talk...
We're here.
We are here to talk about art and Paigeizzle. And we have this lovely dichotomy of art and video game and music. And Paige, you're here with us tonight. Let me see. One of the things I have on my notes is to do I think, would you like to do a slideshow of your other works?
Sure. Let's get right into it.
Let me prep the OBS because I am so good and talented at doing this on the fly. All right. I see it there. It's going to pop up in a second. I know what that's from. I know. Okay, so if Metroid is your thing, I don't know if I can say Zelda's my thing. I fucking love Zelda, but I don't actually play it too much. But I recognize that sword.
Yes. My friend Andy actually commissioned this to use as an avatar Or, well, actually, he commissioned an avatar, and he was like, just surprise me. And I know he's a huge Zelda fan, so I found this concept art. I want to say it was from Link to the Past, and it's because it's the Master Sword in the forest, and I recreated it, and honestly, looking at it now, this is like the creative curse. Is it's like, oh man, now that I have like more experience with like my digital art program and everything, it's like, oh, I want to change stuff. But I was really excited about how I brought the whole like environmental aspect together. Like there's a clear background, middle ground, foreground kind of a thing, and I don't typically do that. So that's what I was most proud of with this, was the vibe of it.
I love the setting of this piece. Like,
me too.
Like exactly what you said, that it's almost like how the foreground, the brush frames it. And I love that. And I love the background of it. You said, like, looking at this now, there are things you would want to change. What would you change about this? Because, I mean, to me, it looks like perfection. I can't imagine wanting to change anything. But I also know I've made songs that people tell me sound great as is, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to fix it. What would you change?
Yes, exactly. I definitely feel like it's something with the line work on the Master Sword. Like, I feel like I want to make it just a little bit darker, but it's probably just me. I'm a classic overthinker, so I can guarantee that's what's happening.
Lean into it.
Yes. So, but I still, every time I look at this, though, like, even if I feel that way, it's not like I hate this. Like, I still really, really, really enjoy this, and I'm still happy with it.
I love it. I mean,
thank you.
The only thing I would do differently, because I'm not an artist and I'm a dummy, could use like one of those J.J. Abrams lens flares off the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Just give it that pop.
Like off the hilt.
Yeah. Just give it that, mid-2010s
or even right on the blade,
blockbuster.
too.
Yeah, actually, I was picturing the blade.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I could, I might just do that just because I can, because I have the files.
Yeah.
Haha.
You can do it. Nothing's
I can.
The man
that's
says that's
idea.
a great album cover. I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, I could totally see it.
This is the problem that I have in my life now that I am as enmeshed in DoD, is that, like, I am working on an album, and one of the things in the back of my head is, like, I want to choose an artist for it, and if I choose one artist, that means there are 20 people that I would also choose that I break the heart of. I'll just do it myself and do a shitty job, and like everyone will lose, and I'll feel good about that.
I know what you mean though, because it, like, everyone has something different to offer, and you're right. Like, it's that. I don't even know if I could call it a perfectionist thing, but it's just like...
Your microphone cut out a little bit there.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, sorry.
Am I back?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I don't know if it's like a perfectionist. Am I? Shoot.
Yeah. It has happened a few times tonight, but this is the first time where it's been, like, noticeable. Try talking again. Hopefully it'll work.
Okay, is it working? I'll take my phone off Wi-Fi. Okay. Phone is off Wi-Fi, just in case that messes with things. Is it still okay?
You're coming through, Crystal.
Okay, perfect. But I get what you're saying about breaking, like, you could pick someone, but then you're breaking the hearts of like 20 other people, and especially because everyone has something different to bring to the table, and it's a hard decision, even for like me as an artist. If I ever commission someone just because I like their artwork, it's like, well, who actually, I do this with Bandcamp Friday. I will be like, oh, I want to get this and this and this and this. But then it's like, well, if I pick these 5, then I have to wait a whole month to get these 5. And I feel bad about that because I just want to buy them all and give everyone money because everyone who's creating stuff, I shouldn't, that's actually that's a blanket statement. Most people who are creating deserve money.
That was a good edit. That was a good edit.
Yeah, because there's people out there probably creating stuff that I am not about.
Yeah. I mean, I totally forgot about this, but Korn, their 4th album Issues, had 4 different covers. And I remember that was such a big deal when it came out. Like, there was, like, which cover did you get? And, like, what was the official one? Like, oh, God. I have to look at them. Because I remember off the top of my head, like, which cover was kind of the standard, like, the official default. But I don't think that's the one I bought. I need to look at all 4 of those album covers side by side to jog my memory.
Was one of them the like the voodoo doll, the like
yes, I think
Sackboy
that
looking
was
thing?
It was the Sackboy voodoo doll. I'm pretty sure that was the default.
Okay, I didn't even know there
had.
were alternate covers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's honestly a really good idea.
I'm sure there's like a really cool wiki page on the Korn Issues album about the banner art.
Oh, probably.
Not banner.
Yeah.
The album art. I'm so used to talking about DRD that I call it banner art. So Master Sword, I 112% agree with the man that this is incredible album cover. Art number 2.
I could see that. Oh, go for it. Well,
sorry. What were you gonna say? It'll take a second to load.
No, I just said I can totally, like, looking at it, I can absolutely see. Oh man, this is a favorite of mine. I'm planning on turning this one into a sticker, which is why it's set up the way it's set up. Yeah. I love the in Symphony of the Night, that's what this is from. I love death. That's a weird thing to say, but I love that, like, that art for that character, and I had so much fun just, like, recreating it and trying all the different tools and, like, oh, how could I get that, like, nice soft, like, not quite watercolor, but just those nice soft, like, like shadows and highlights and things. And I just had so much fun with this, and I was trying to push more with the line work shading. Like, you can see it, like, on the hood and definitely on the scythe there. And I really love, my favorite part of this is his hand on the pole of the scythe. I remember even when I was inking that and I, like, stopped and looked at it and I was like, oh, I popped off in that 20 minutes. Like, this is the highlight of the whole thing right here. But I really enjoyed working on this. And definitely want to turn it into a sticker. Because it'd be a rad sticker.
Nice. Yeah. Will the sticker have that, like, pointy part of the scythe sticking out?
No, I think I'll probably put a white border around it. And honestly, what I might do is at my job, because I have access to, like, Photoshop and better art programs than what I have, I know the way to, like, make a white outline that would include the point in the scythe there. So I probably would put an outline around it.
Very nice. Anything else you want to say on this piece?
No, I think that covers it.
Oh, the curse of seeing it before everyone else does. This one really looks fucking cool. The colors. What's this from?
Yeah. This, I went to go see the band Sleep, and I love, like, stoner metal, doom metal, sludge metal. That's, like, that's my favorite of the metal subgenres. And I went to a Sleep concert. It was my first time seeing them, and I think I eventually got sick or something, because I remember I called off work and I had done the drawing of the skull in the like astronaut helmet with the green smoke, and then when I called off work I added the like tie-dye. It worked out like that somehow, but I was just so like, I need to make something trippy and like weed inspired, and I went with a dead astronaut looking thing.
We here at Dwelling of Duels do not advocate the smoking of cannabis or other things. Excuse me while I go light up.
It's just a vibe. Yeah. Excuse me while I light the bong.
I had a thought for a second there and I lost it. This reminds me of... you know what it reminds me of is Dr. McNinja. They had a bunch of like astronaut skeleton stuff going on in there.
Bless you for bringing up Dr. Ninja. That is a name I have not heard in so long. And I fell off. I never finished reading it, but oh my god, like I remember there's one core memory I have with that comic, and it's where they get pulled over by the cop and he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And his son goes, because I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low. And he turns around. He gives him the death glare. Oh my god. That destroyed me. That's like one of my favorite moments of that whole thing. So thank you for actually understanding, because that has lived rent-free in my brain for years.
For a very long time, my Facebook profile picture was Dr. McNinja the first time he was riding Yoshi as a steed.
I love it. Oh, it's so great. And don't they... There was an actual physical release of it, right? Like, isn't it actually a book now?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Didn't Dark Horse...
Oh, shit. I've got some of them. I don't think I have all of them. I know that I got one of them signed. And I think I asked him to sign that page. The one where it's Dr. McNinja writing. And, like, I have something like that somewhere.
Yeah, I need to go back and read those, because I remember it being very, very, very funny.
It was incredibly funny. A little bit of trivia that lives rent-free in my head is that January 21st, 2017 was the worst day ever for 3 reasons. The first was the one everyone knows about. The second was that the barbecue place Soulfire in Allston, Massachusetts closed. And the third was that it was the final Dr. McNinja. Like, that's when it ended.
Aw, God, I didn't even realize it's been over for that long.
Yeah.
I felt out of the loop so hard. But it gives, at least it's... I have a project, and it's to read Dr. McNinja.
I have everything on a Google Drive folder. Like, I went through and I saved it, so I've got it somewhere, and I can send you that Google Drive folder.
I would greatly appreciate that.
Let me make a note. I'm not going to look at your, reply to this. So I remember to send you Dr. McNinja Drive. So just send me back okay.
Perfect.
I'll have a Discord notification, and I will tend to it. Oh wait, don't send it yet. Don't open Reaper.
No.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to open
thought you were
a
telling me
Reaper
not
while
to
I'm
reply
streaming.
yet.
No, I was my Discord icon is right next to Reaper, so I clicked on Discord so I could change where I was, so the next time I opened it, it wouldn't view whatever message you send me. But I accidentally clicked Reaper. This is obviously the most professional Twitch stream ever, where VGM contests have banner artists come on and talk about art. And it certainly doesn't devolve into some guy talking about webcomics that ended almost 10 years ago and how he doesn't know how to click on icons.
No, it relates. It's okay. Webcomics are art. It relates.
Webcomics are art.
It's relevant to me, or relevant to this whole thing, so.
I just click the next button. This is cool. I recognize that, but I don't remember what it's from.
My mother brain. So this one was like when I say a collaborative thing, the collaborative part was my friend added more of the like paper noisy texture around the black areas. But this, I had so much fun with this one. The line art, I did all in a sketchbook with a pen. I didn't use any pencil. I just took a pen to paper and was like, okay, I'm going to sketch Mother Brain, and whatever happens, happens. And the same friend who added the texture around the solid black areas, he's like a ride or die. We've been friends since high school. The kind of, like, we share music, share video games, like all of that. And it is from Bandcamp. Yes, it is. I told him that, on a whim, I sent him the Mother Brain boss battle theme from Super Metroid because I love it so much. And I was like, he'll appreciate this just popped up. And he was like, well, I want to cover this. And I was like, dude, I have been wanting to do a doom metal cover of this for so long because it deserves one and it needs to be heavy as hell. And so we were like, all right, bet, we're on it. And like a couple weeks later, I went to his house and I took my bass and took my fuzz pedal and we just knocked it right out in a whole day. And it was the most fun I've ever had. And then I made the drawing after, like, I think maybe like a week after, and that's where this came from. And I had, like, I was looking up a ton of, like, doom metal album covers and just, like, t-shirt art because I love the art from that scene as well. Like, it's very graphic with just, and when I say graphic, I don't mean, like, violent. I mean, it pops with its colors. It's such a fun, like, 70s-esque vibe, and I'm so into that. And I went a little bit more edgy because I really like messy, jagged kind of vibes. And I wanted it to be scary because it's Mother Brain, and yeah. Mother Brain's a scary bitch. So I went with that.
So you just mentioned something, and tying back to earlier, that you do play bass. And
I do.
You are a musician. I just remember something you told me the other day, and I was like, if I did that, I would consider myself an actual musician. But you practice a lot more than I do.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I love to, it's just within the last, like, few months, I could even say the last year, honestly, like my bass has become such a grounding force for me. I'm trying to teach myself when I'm doing it because I'm very much still learning a lot of things about music. Like, music, as far as things that I do creatively, music is very new. Listening and consuming it has always been there, but actually learning about it and making it is a whole different ball game that I'm exposing myself to. And I don't know, within this last year, it's just really connected, and when I pick it up, I can't put it down. And I'll sometimes I'll like squeeze it in at the end of the night at like 11:30 when I should have been in bed a half hour ago, and then suddenly it's 12:30 and I'm like, I still don't want to go to bed. Like, I just want to play. So it's definitely,
have you recorded anything? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. The only thing that I've actually recorded is the Mother Brain cover. And I shouldn't even say that. I do have on my Instagram, not on my art Instagram, but on my Paigeizzle Instagram, I have videos that I've just taken when I am playing, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna record a video of me playing and post it because I'm just really excited about what I just learned.
Here's a question for you. Would you be interested in collabing with somebody or entering in DoD?
Yeah, if the right theme came up, absolutely.
What's the right theme for you?
Oh man, that is a good question. I mean, Metroid's a very obvious one. I'm trying to think of something that would be anything where I could work on something that would be definitely like metal oriented. Metal isn't just where I'm at. Metal is just something I gravitate towards, and I love just playing low, slow, chunky bass riffs. Like, that's my favorite. Makes me feel powerful. But also I really, 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 really love like funky stuff. And it doesn't even have to be like slap bass, but you know what I mean? Like, you can get in a groove without slapping. Like, you get like those offbeats in there and you're just like, oh, I'm feeling this. Like, that would be fun. I know that's not quite a theme, but I feel like multiple themes could fit into, like, yeah, a funk cover could go here, and you can make a metal cover. Metal covers are like the Guile of VGM. You know, like Guile's theme can go with anything. It's metal for VGM, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not to have like a hot take or anything, but
you heard it here first, folks. Paigeizzle can play metal or funk bass. You know, you're gonna have a full dance card if people call you out on that, because we still do a bunch of metal, we still do a lot of funk. That isn't all. You'll find something every month. I'm sure there's a funky metal thing in DS or 3DS.
I would love funk metal. I'm a huge Primus fan, and I know that's not necessarily funk metal, but it's pretty much right there. And I'm by no means Les Claypool on the bass, but I wish I was. But I love that man.
I'm less Claypool. Like, I am a lesser Claypool.
Yes.
I can't quite slap yet. I can almost slap.
Honestly, same. That's like one of the next things on my docket is I need to just sit down and just learn it. I just need to figure it out. Primus does suck. Primus sucks hard.
Alright, so we've got our mother brain. Clicking next. Oh, I recognize this fella. This sexy beast over here. What's their name?
Skridley.
Riddle me this. That's Ridley.
Riddle me this. Metroid on Metroid on Metroid.
I'm so excited that you have not heard DaBaby the musical, and that's the thing we're going to close out with later. Like, if I didn't have so many other things that I wanted to talk about, like, I'd say let's just close it out right now, but there's still so much that I want to go over.
It's important.
Yeah.
Oh man, this one. So this was for Metroid. What year was it? I think it was last year. But there's an art challenge in October, and it's called Inktober, where each day there's a theme, and you do an ink drawing based on the theme. Whatever you come up with, and it's gotten way bigger over the years. Like, people make their own Inktober prompt list. Sometimes people just do something totally different. It doesn't even have to be Inktober. But there's one in May, and it's Metroid related, and that's why it's called Metroid. And this one, I think the motif was fiery, and there was another one. I can't remember exactly what went with the fiery, and I did this recreation of the Ridley art from Super Metroid where he's red, obviously. And Ridley is done traditionally, like I did all the line work and the coloring on a little like note card, and then originally he's on just like a yellow background, but then I went and I edited. You can actually see some of the yellow still around the lines, but I went and tried to make like a Norfair looking like craggy background to set the mood a little bit, give him a home.
Yeah.
And I still really love this. I want to actually get this one framed so I can hang it up. It's pretty small, but I still just really like it. I'm really proud of it.
I love it. It's great.
Thank you.
I fucking love video games.
Yeah, video games are the best.
I love video games and the communities and the things that we do surrounding them. I will never not be tired of this. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at the questions. I wanna. Okay, so that I think was our last from the portfolio. So let me switch back to two cams.
Mm-hmm.
So professionally, you do work as a graphic artist.
Yep.
And that's, I think that's always a cool thing. It's one of those things where it's, you know, your day job isn't making incredible art with Ridley and Mother Brain, but you do get to do artistic related things in your 9 to 5. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what that's like, the how one informs the other and vice versa?
Yeah. I honestly, like, just speaking honestly, my job can get very, it can just be really draining because I'm constantly working that creative muscle, and graphic design is something that, I struggled with even in college. But that being said, I definitely feel like having to do it every day and for 8 hours really has made a difference. Like, I understand a lot more about the programs and just design principles in general. Like, I learn every day, and I really enjoy that. And not even just using the programs, but setting up artwork to be printed on just like a normal like printer on like an 8.5/11 size sheet of paper, or 11/17, and like the different kinds of paper. And as someone who would like to get prints made of illustrations, that's like valuable information to understand how to actually set up your pieces for printing, so the print shop's not like, what is this and why did you do this? But I also learn how to set stuff up for like large format printing. So if you've ever seen, like, well, of course you've seen like yard signs, like we print those. We print stickers, we print labels for companies. So learning how to set stuff up for that is also really valuable because, well, like, I want to sticker with my Art of Death, so it's like, okay, I know how I should set the file up and what to expect for what they need and what they would have to do to put it in their program to get it all ready to go, basically. So that kind of information, I'm super stoked that I get to actually like deal with every day and get, you know, it's like in my brain now because I do it every day.
Yeah. And okay, so I know you talked a little bit, you told me a little bit about some of the different things that you do as a graphic artist, like the different kind of work you do. Is that like exciting stuff you want to talk about, or we can certainly move on to other things? I want to make sure we're focusing on the stuff that's fun and exciting for you. I'm looking at the like list of questions we have, and I'm thinking, is this an interesting thing? Or is this the thing that she's like, it's my day job, don't talk to me about this?
This one we can make really quick because the work that I do at my day job is not very interesting. Unless you want to hear about making brochures for banks, then I could go on, but I don't think anyone wants to hear that. It's
I'm a fiduciary, right?
Are you? That's no. You did say you had like the meeting. It was like a financial or an investment or something. You did mention. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. I make brochures and stuff, and we do a lot of stuff for banks. So
you got to get all that fine print in there about like the NAIC and the FDIC
and the APY and all of this. Yep, credit unions. Oh yeah.
Return on investments. Yep. No big deal. No big deal.
Yep.
Searching for alpha.
Yep. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Is that, or part of my job is making stuff like that look nice. So
there's no way to make capitalism look nice. It's all bullshit and it's all bad for you. Said the literal fiduciary financial planner.
Listen, we just get put in positions because we have to be. It's not your fault.
Oh no! I mean, this is the Paige show. It's not the Mike show. The TLDR of it is, I understand complex things like health insurance and saving for retirement, and I like helping people navigate that in a way that's beneficial for them.
And I respect that legitimately.
Yeah, health insurance is a nightmare. We should all be on Medicare. I should not have that income stream. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What are your preferred mediums of art?
I definitely like both traditional and digital. It just depends how I'm feeling. With traditional art, I feel like I get satisfaction from both, but there's something extra gratifying when you have the sketchbook on your desk or in your lap and you have a pencil or pen in your hand and you just lose yourself in it, and then suddenly you come to and you're like, oh, I just did that out of nothing and it's just there now and it looks cool. And you can say the same for digital, but digital art doesn't have quite the like tactile feeling as having the physical sketchbook. Exactly, yeah. I don't feel it on my legs or my arm or whatever. Like, so traditionally, I really pencils, ink pens, markers, and I need to get back to using colored pencils. Colored pencils were my start, and I've gotten away from it, but I want to bring those back. And then digital's great. You have so many tools that mimic traditional tools. So you pay for the art program, and that's kind of like the one-stop shop, and you just kind of have everything. Mm-hmm. And some with the program I use Clip Studio Paint, and they have a portal where you search for free like assets, so different brush types, different textures, different. There's a ton of stuff. Anything from like background related stuff to just, like, oh, here's a brush that mimics like a ballpoint pen kind of a thing. And that's really super helpful. You can find if you're struggling with making something look a specific way, you can generally go on the Clip Studio asset thing and find something that'll help push yourself in the direction you're trying to head. Clip Studio gang.
When you do digital art, do you use a tablet? Like, how's that? Like, what's your interface with the medium?
I do use a tablet, but we're gonna pretend and say that I use a mouse because I want to be a badass. But no, I use a tablet. You heard it
here first, everyone. Paigeizzle uses a mouse because she fucking slaps.
Exactly. Mouse only. Hard mode. the Dark Souls of digital art.
So
Yeah, joystick, DDR pad.
this feels like a good time to take a look at your workflow. We have two images here. Let me transition that scene there. Artist slideshow. Let's turn on that workflow. There we go. So this is some kind of electronic device that I'm seeing. So this is for the workflow. So this was your workflow specifically for the 3DS banner art. That's what we're looking at right now.
Yes. I love it too, because like the transparent background and the banner is slowly like going in place behind it, and it's just perfect because you get like the actual like motif of where I was going. I really love, it's really helpful for me when I can make 3D mock-up, or not, I shouldn't say 3D, but when I can make mock-ups like this and use it as my base for the sketch or the drawing, and that's exactly what I did when I had the idea for the banner. I was at a party with friends, and I got a message from the man about what the theme was that I was going to be doing, and immediately I was like, those screens and combining the two to be like a Frankenstein system would be just really great for conveying the information that I need to convey for the month. And so I took my DS out, grabbed a picture of it, did the same thing with the 3DS, and just lassoed out the components I needed, stuck them together, and I, from there, just made a sketch based on that. And when I made the sketch, I went in for like the final inks and the details, shut that layer off, and just referenced my pictures, and that was that. But this kind of thing is really helpful for me. I can really visualize what I'm going for when I have a base like this.
Yeah. And I mean, just the layout of it and the way the DS screens look, like, that's a canvas, right? That's two canvases right there that you can play
Literally,
on.
yeah. Yep.
Now, this next piece. So this is your workflow. Hopefully, it's something that hopefully this comes through well enough on the screen that you can sort of walk us through.
So we talked about seeing like the actual process and seeing square one and how helpful that is. This is my square one. If anyone tells you their square one is picture perfect, they're lying, because this is what square one looks like. So I had a couple different ideas. The main one, which is the bottom picture next to the DoD sticker, and the one that I went with, that was just my quick mock-up, and just, okay, let me do my quick sketch. Like, yep, this will be the 3DS component. Here's the idea for like the trophy. And originally, the trophy idea wasn't going to be the DoD trophy. It was going to be a band on like a trophy stand. So the two links would be like a drummer, a guitar player, and a bass player. And I fully had that ready to go. And then I looked at it and I thought about it, and I was like, no, the DoD trophy would just slap so much harder. And I'm really happy that I went with that, because I almost was like, man, is it going to be too much to, essentially go backwards to go forwards? But I'm glad I did it. I really enjoyed making that change. But anyway, so I have these are note cards that I did like just super, super quick sketches to get just, okay, this is going to go here, this is going to go here, this is going to go here, and did some notes like with the top one. With that top one, initially it was like, oh, okay, it'll be like a 4-panel sort of thing. One section will have like DS games, and then maybe some sprites from, you know, a DS game, and then the UI was in the DS UI was in the panel next to that, and then the bottom would be same idea but 3DS related things. So the 3DS UI, and then I have like AR cards there and like a 3DS game case. And the other one, I started sketching it and I was like, how it looks like a 3DS jumping out of a DS. I was like, this one just isn't quite flowing. But I'm glad I made it, because if I didn't do that sketch, I wouldn't know otherwise. So it was seeing it through and just like, I'm not feeling that one. And then the sticker on there just because you need it for the aesthetic, for the inspiration.
Now, one of the things that we talked about when we met the other day was that the banner art in the background, there are some assets in there. Like, I can tell there are some DS or 3DS games, and I told you then I didn't want to know what they were. I wanted to be surprised tonight. Can you tell us about the DS, the 3DS games that are like those covers that are in the background there? Like that green tint?
I can pull up, as long as it doesn't take 9,000 years to load, I can pull up Clip Studio and I can actually pull up that layer, or I could even pull up just the picture because I have the picture. It's not a picture that I took. I want to say I got it off of Reddit or something. Like someone just had a picture of their DS games, and I was like, no, this will be a cool background with adding that blur effect to it. It just, I don't even really know how I came to how I got from point A to point B with that. It might have been because I've done projects in the past where I've used that blur effect, and I was like, oh, that would be cool if some of the games were focused but some of them were out of focus, so that way it doesn't take away from the focal point of the actual art that's going to be laying on top of those. But my idea for the games was just I was trying to find games that were like flagship games for the DS and the 3DS. Like I tried to include I think it was New Super Mario Brothers that was on the DS. And I think the ones that are in that picture are all just DS games. I don't think I actually got any 3DS ones in there. And I even toyed with the idea of taking some of my cartridges and, you know, spreading them out on the floor and taking a picture of my games. Oh, I guess I don't have the picture. I thought I did. Well, that's lame. But yeah, some of them in that I'm not even quite, I'm trying to look at like as it's scrolling by. I know there's this, I want to say this Japanese one that's in the lower left might be, no, I don't think it's Rhythm Heaven. I was going to say, because I was trying to include that one in there too, because that's just perfect for DoD. Is like, why wouldn't you have a rhythm game, especially coming out of like with the rhythm game month happening so soon afterwards. I was like, man, that would be a cool tie-in, but it didn't quite happen that way. I even tried collaging a background where I found multiple images of just like standalone DS cartridges and like stacking them on each other, but it didn't quite get the feeling that where I landed and like how this one looks. I really like the way the background looks for this one, or with this picture, I should say. Cool. Thank you.
I think,
and a friend of mine even. Oh, sorry. No, it's okay. A friend of mine told me that when I showed him the final image, he was like, "Oh, it really gives like a gaming magazine kind of a vibe. Like it's something you would see." I don't know, like in Game Informer or something, just like a picture of like all these games. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't, it's one of those, I'm not going to be able to describe it, but I can picture what he's talking about. And I was like, oh, that actually makes me feel really like happy about that decision and validated in that decision.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's one of those things that as an art dummy, I don't think about, but as I'm like looking at it and giving conscious thought to it, it gives such a level of detail, and it's like world building. Like you're filling out the space with something that's relevant.
Yes.
Like that could
Exactly.
be just
Yep.
sort of a blank background, but it's not. And that's really cool.
Yep. That's a super good way to put it. That's exactly what I was going for.
I'm turning off the slideshow so that we can just see the art without my stupid face in front of it for a little bit. Gonna let that scroll across the screen. That June 2025 3DS DS. Paige, I mean, we could probably talk for like a few more hours. I think this has been an incredible... Is there anything else that we haven't touched on yet? I know when we met the other day, we talked about a bunch of different things. Is there anything that we haven't gone over tonight that you were looking forward to talking about? Because I don't have work tomorrow. Like, it's not a school night for me. I could keep going for a little while, but...
I truly think we got everything. Honestly.
Yeah.
We nerded out and I had a great time.
That is the important part. I mean, I know I'm supposed to care about the viewers and that they're having a good time, but they can go pound sand. Fuck them. That's what I say.
Get out of here, viewers.
I saw,
No.
like, I
Chat,
was expecting
you've
to
been
see...
great.
I was expecting to see the number of viewers go down, but it actually went up as we were saying that. It's like, something we're doing is working.
Everyone in chat, everyone has been amazing. Like I said, familiar faces, new faces. This is like, y'all brought the vibes. It's been good.
This has been an excellent fun time. I have been your host, Evil Sonic. With me has been Paigeizzle. We are about to listen to our closing track. Let me think. I didn't really think too much about which art would be on here. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but I'm going to use the starting soon scene. This has been a DoD banner artist breakdown with Paigeizzle. This is the June 2025 DS 3DS month. Paige, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for incredible artwork. I think I asked you if you wanted to do another DoD again. We kind of talked about music, like what kind of music you'd want to submit to. Is there another... What's the kind of banner you'd want to do again? If it's a specific... if it's a specific game, I know you want to do some Metroid, but if there's a specific vibe or feel... I kind of like asking this question because I know what the themes are going to be in advance, so it's like I can think about, oh, Paige would love to do that one.
Something that popped into my head just now, and I don't know if this is necessarily a good answer, but I'm going to throw it out anyway, is something that's like vapor wavy, like really bright 80s colors, and that, like,
that is...
I love that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna have you and Tuck fight over that one.
Yeah. Okay. What if we collab over it and it's a double artist banner?
Or we could do the Corn Issues thing where there are multiple banner
Yeah.
arts.
Oh, that would be great. Oh, that would be fun.
We would blow through our budget so quickly. Be worth it though. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Paigeizzle. We're gonna close out with DaBaby the musical. Let me get my Fubar playlist set up. And thank you all for keeping it right here. This has been Dwelling of Duels. Oh, I didn't even fucking say... 1 week from tonight is the listening party for this month's DoD contest. We do have a musical contest. Join us next Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will have some DS and 3DS music. There will be mains, there will be alts, and you will keep it right here because this is the Dwelling of Duels. Duels, duels.
Whoop whoop.
Federation?
Yeah, what's up, Samus?
I brought you the last Metroid. The galaxy is at peace, shitheads.
Fuck you, Mom! You left my ass in a jar! You left me here on a colony, then went out to a bar! We were just about to bond, I was like 4 hours old! I knew you were a bounty hunter, but that's fucking cold! Now I'm stuck in this capsule, nerds sticking me in front of me! You let me out, I'll give your ass a fucking lobotomy! Stealing my DNA for clones that ain't equal! I bet that you will come up again in a sequel!
Under attack. Who the fuck? Oh shit, it's Ridley!
Oh shit, who's this purple dinosaur? It's like a party with the CFO of Dumb Fuck Store. Rents his tail to a scientist, fucking hella gore. He's like,
You wanna be these nerds and be a pilot?
no! So now he's fucking up these scientists left and right. But oh shit, it's my mama and she's here to fight. She's like,
Ridley, you fuck, I thought I killed you, right?
but then he grabs me and suddenly we eat off in the night. As I look back and watch this exploding colony, I think back to my mama and the day she said follow me. She could have let 1,000 monsters fucking swallow me, but she cared for me, she was there for me. Man, I hope she's okay.
Samus Aran, ship's log. After escaping the Galactic Federation colony, I initiated pursuit of that fuckwit Ridley who stole the baby Metroid. I've tracked them back to planet Zebes? Still fuzzy on that. Anyway, I can only imagine what evil scheme the space pirates are planning for that little guy.
So I'm just chillin' on Torian, lots of time to kill. Likely 1 to 7 hours based on player skill. I thought that being a pirate meant shit like boats all day. But as soon as I get here,
See the DNA!
fuck! Are we really on this shit again? Look, you sprung me out of prison, but you ain't my friend. Look, I'll give you my samples, you little dino twat. But yo, I'm hungry as fuck, so where my snackies at?
Okay, I got you some side hoppers. Bon appetit, I guess.
Shit, yeah! Oh god, what are you gonna do to us? It's feeding time, dickweed! Mama?
Yes, baby.
You came back for me?
Yes. I killed basically an entire planet's ecosystem to find you.
Well, if it isn't Samus Aran! You're just in time to witness more delectable plan! Your missiles can't touch me, your beam's not a flinch! I'll give you up! Knock you down like a bitch!
I'm not gonna let you hurt Mama. I'm not gonna let you hurt Mama. I'm not gonna let you hurt Mama. Fuck you, I won't 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 let you hurt Mama.
As I fled the explosion,